got your new Japanese knife or your new handmade English craftsmanship 10 to the dozen all the way up to 11 knife. You've got a nice chopping board. You've been using your knife for ages, for like, you know, I don't know, you've been using it for a week and you just don't feel like it's as sharp as it was when you got it out of the box. Now that sometimes is difficult to get back. There's a few different ways of keeping your knife sharp and a few different bits of kit that you should have, especially if you've got a nicer higher end knife that don't break the bank. They're fairly cheap, but again, if you've got the right bit of kit for the right job, it'll actually help maintain your knives better and you'll be able to look after your bits of steel much better than if you didn't know what you were doing with it. Your basic bits of kit here anyway. Once your knife starts going a little bit blunt, so saying about the very edge of your knife being very, very thin, having a little bit of flex. Now, you've been slicing with it and slicing with it and slicing with it, cooking meal after meal after meal. And as you flex it backwards and forwards and flex it backwards and forwards, it starts to come out of alignment. So the first thing you want to do when your knife gets a little bit out of alignment is hone it or strop it back. So these honing and stropping are essentially aligning the edge, yeah? So as this comes out of alignment, you're using something else to push it back to the middle. Now when it's back in the middle, it should feel sharp again. After you've done that for an extended period of time and you've honed it and straightened and stropped and honed and straightened, you'll actually be fatiguing the very edge of the metal off and it'll start to get round right on the edge. And there's a good way of telling if your knife is blunt. If you look along the edge into the light, if you can see light reflected off the edge, then that bit is not sharp. The apex is broken. So this bit, actually, this knife still needs a bit more sharpening. I've been polishing it for ages, but I haven't sharpened it properly. So there's actually a little bit of light reflecting off the edge here, whereas in this bit here, it's sharp. I don't know if you'd be able to see that, actually, Vince. Okay. So that bit there is not sharp. This bit here hasn't been sharpened yet. I need to bring it down a little bit more. Stropping. So this is a strop. So it's a bit of leather on a bit of oak. Again, this is made by James Billings. Lovely bit of oak, really nicely finished and soft leather. So if you buy a strop like this, most strops you buy will come with some kind of polishing compound. These are great if you're not a ridiculous idiot who finishes stuff with a lot of silly whetstones. Great for everyday use. We've got, I think this is a chromium oxide, which is usually a green paste or wax, and the red is usually iron oxide, which is a slightly finer grit, so you've got a medium and a fine. Now what you're doing with the strop is you're using the strop to align the edge. So as you've been working the edge, you want to align it and bring it back all into line in the middle. It's exactly the same thing as you should be doing with a steel. So this is a steel or a honing rod. It's fairly smooth. It's not got any diamond in it. It's not got any ceramic in it. So a diamond steel or a ceramic steel will remove material. What you're doing with a diamond steel or ceramic steel is abrading. So you're using an abrasive to remove material, to re-establish an edge. A strop is you're realigning the edge and not removing the material. If I was going to strop using a leather strop, I would move away like this. You can go heel to tip, tip to heel, and that action will just be gently aligning the edge again, and that should make everything feel sharper and remove any burr. Now that's another important thing. Once you've sharpened, what I like to use a strop for is removing the burr. So as you sharpen, when you're abrading, the abrasive will actually start pushing over a tiny little foil of metal. So the very edge of a knife that's been freshly sharpened at a coarser grit will have a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of metal all the way along the edge in a uniform way, which is sort of clinging on. The fact that it's clinging on is quite good. That means it's a good steel. But it won't feel sharp until you've removed the burr. So part of removing the burr, this is why I haven't got any paste or anything on here, is you can actually use the leather or you can use cardboard, You can use newspaper, you can use cotton, linen, you can use all sorts of things to remove a burr. I actually use a cotton polishing mop with Jeweler's Rouge on it to help remove a burr when we're making runs of stuff, because it's a very, very soft way and gentle way of removing a burr and pulling that tiny, tiny strip of steel off the edge. And once you've removed the burr, you end up with a sharp edge. Using a hone is exactly the same thing. Let's go back to years in catering, shall we? So, I'm a butcher. I've got a joint of meat to butcher. So what you do is you grab your knife, you grab your steel, and you do this, yeah? You're smashing it up against the steel. You're banging things on there. Now, what's gonna happen, if you do that with a Japanese knife or a knife with a very fine edge, you're going to ruin your knife. I don't know if I mentioned that banging stuff around might ruin your knife, but that will probably ruin your knife. What you want to be doing with a hone, which is a steel without abrasive, it's not got any diamond, it's not got any ceramic, it's just steel, and the steel should be softer than the steel in your knife, is gently aligning the edge. Now there's different ways you can do that. You can put that down there, you can align the edge, you can go away, but you're not trying to bang anything up against anything else. And that should do exactly the same thing that that's doing, yeah? That should realign the edge of your knife. I think is very, very important when it comes to sharpening is maintaining the right angle. So if you maintain an angle, you can get a good bevel and a good edge. If you've got an abrasive steel, which is covered in diamond grit or ceramic grit, and you're doing this, no matter how good you are, you can whap an edge on it very, very quickly, but it's going to be a very crude edge because this and this is all moving around, yeah? So you've got different angles. You've got a different angle from there to there, you've got a different angle from there to there. Sometimes you'll end up rubbing the spine up against the steel, which will end up scratching your knife. Get your Victorinox knives out in the kitchen when you're working on the pass. Bang them up against the steel, doesn't matter, they're not yours, they do what they should do. You've gone and spent a couple of £100 on a nice Japanese knife and you start banging it up against the steel, you're just going to chip it, you're going to ruin the edge, you're going to roll the edge around, and then you're going to be sad because you've wasted £200 or £300.
Thank you to our sponsors today. We have Multi-Tool Products Europe, who do the 84 engineering belt grinders, Clark Knives, who are a 3-generation family-run business for heat treatment in Damascus, and GFS Knife Supplies. They have lightning fast deliveries and ships worldwide. Fastest deliveries for all types of steel, stocks the Cubitron 2 Trizac, surface conditioning, and the biggest range of abrasive belts, rock blade heat kilns that are available in finance, heat treatment, quenching oils, and every material you'll need for your handle, including pins, stabilized wood, G10 material, and many more. Please click the links in the description as they help us in making more videos like these.
So try and avoid that. A nice bit of leather, a nice bit of cotton, a newspaper, a magazine. A glossy magazine's actually got clay on top of the paper. That's how you get glossy. It's a covering of clay, which actually helps with the strop. And just gently remove the burr or straighten the edge. Simple as that. Does that make sense? Safe.
We need your help. If you feel this video was informative or valuable, please hit that like button because it helps us to gain visibility by the YouTube gods. If you want to check out our other knife care videos, click this one over here. If you really want to see how a whole custom knife is made from scratch, check out this video instead. Thank you for watching and hope to see you on the other videos.